Hold on to your hats, basketball fans, because the NBA just got a whole lot more interesting. Karl-Anthony Towns, the man who made three-pointers look like free throws in Minnesota, is trading in his parka for a New York Knicks jersey. That's right, Cat is coming to the Big Apple, and the city that never sleeps is about to get a whole lot louder. This blockbuster trade sent shockwaves through the league. Was it a desperate attempt by the Knicks to finally land a superstar? Or a calculated gamble by the Timberwolves to shake things up? One thing's for sure, this is a move that could reshape the landscape of the NBA for years to come. Get ready for fireworks, because the Eastern Conference just got a whole lot tougher. The Knicks are betting big on Cat, and if his past performance is any indication, they might just be onto something special. Buckle up, folks, because the Cat Show is coming to Broadway, and it's going to be one heck of a ride. Let's break down this trade faster than a New York minute. The Knicks, always eager to make a splash, are sending Julius Randle, Donte DiVincenzo, and a future first-round pick to the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for the three-time All-Star Karl-Anthony Towns. That's right, the Knicks are going all in on KET, hoping he's the missing piece to their championship puzzle. They're sacrificing some depth and future assets, but hey, when you have a chance to land a player of Towns' caliber, you don't hesitate. The Timberwolves, on the other hand, are hitting the reset button. They're adding some solid pieces in Randle and DiVincenzo, and that first-round pick could turn into a future star. It's a bittersweet moment for Timberwolves fans who have to say goodbye to their franchise player, but this could be the start of something special in Minnesota. Now let's get to the good stuff, analyzing the heck out of this trade. Karl-Anthony Towns' time in Minnesota was a roller coaster of emotions. He arrived as the #1 pick, a beacon of hope for a franchise desperate for a winner. And he delivered, showcasing his incredible talent and becoming one of the most dominant big men in the league. From Rookie of the Year to All-Star appearances, Cat racked up accolades like they were going out of style. He could score from anywhere on the court, rebound with the best of them, and even dish out assists like a seasoned point guard. He was a walking highlight reel, a one-man show who could single-handedly take over games. But despite his individual brilliance, team success remained elusive. The Timberwolves struggled to build a consistent winner around Cat, and the playoffs became a distant dream. Coaching changes, roster shakeups, nothing seemed to work. Now, Cat is heading to New York, leaving behind a legacy of unrealized potential in Minnesota. Timberwolves fans will always wonder what could have been, but they'll also cherish the memories of Cat's incredible talent and the excitement he brought to the Target Center. Section 4. The Timberwolves howl for a new pack leader. With Cat out the door, the Timberwolves are officially Anthony Edwards' team. The young star has shown flashes of brilliance, and now he'll have the keys to the franchise. It's a lot of pressure for someone so young, but Edwards has the talent and the swagger to become a superstar in this league. The addition of Julius Randle gives the Timberwolves a proven scorer and a much-needed veteran presence. He can create his own shot, rebound with authority, and even knock down the occasional three-pointer. He's not Cat, but he's a darn good player who can help the Timberwolves stay competitive. Donte DiVincenzo brings some much-needed shooting and defense to the table. He's a scrappy player who can guard multiple positions and knock down open shots. He's not afraid of the big moment, and he'll fit in nicely with the Timberwolves' young core. The Timberwolves are in a state of transition, but they have some intriguing pieces to build around. It's a new era in Minnesota, and only time will tell if they can finally find success without KT. Section 5. Knicks frontcourt conundrum. Too many cooks? The Knicks are adding a major piece in Karl-Anthony Towns, but it remains to be seen how he'll fit in with their current roster. They already have a talented young center in Mitchell Robinson, who's coming off an injury-plagued season but has shown all-star potential. So how will Coach Tom Thibodeau manage the minutes in the frontcourt? Will Cat and Robinson share the floor, creating a Twin Towers lineup that will dominate the paint? Or will one of them be relegated to a bench role, sacrificing minutes for the sake of team chemistry? It's a good problem to have, but it's a problem nonetheless. Thibodeau is known for his old-school approach, favoring veterans and defensive-minded players. Will he be able to adapt his system to accommodate two offensive-minded big men? The Knicks' front-court rotation will be one of the most intriguing storylines to follow this season. If Thibodeau can find a way to make it work, the Knicks could have one of the most dominant front courts in the league. Section 6. Fantasy Sports explodes. Hold on to your fantasy basketball drafts, folks, because this trade just threw a wrench into everything. Cat's value gets a nice little boost playing in the mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden. Expect his points, rebounds, and assists to remain elite, but keep an eye on those field goal percentages with Mitchell Robinson lurking in the paint. Speaking of Robinson, his fantasy stock takes a hit. Splitting minutes with KT will hurt his counting stats, and let's be honest, no one wants to draft a player with a minutes restriction. Look for Robinson to become a valuable trade asset for fantasy owners desperate for blocks and rebounds. As for the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards just became a first-round fantasy pick. With Cat out of the picture, Edwards is going to have the ball in his hands all the time, and his usage rate is going to skyrocket. Get ready for a monster season from Ant-Man. This trade has shaken up the fantasy basketball landscape, creating winners and losers in its wake. So adjust your draft boards accordingly, and may the best fantasy owner win. Section 7. The future is now. What's next for Cat and the Knicks? The Knicks are making a statement with this trade. They're done rebuilding and they're ready to win now. They've assembled a talented young core, and now they've added a bona fide superstar in Karl-Anthony Towns. The pressure is on to compete for a championship, and the expectations have never been higher in New York. Cat is embracing the challenge of playing in the Big Apple. He's a New Jersey native who grew up idolizing the Knicks, and now he'll have the chance to lead them back to glory. He's ready to silence the doubters, prove he can win at the highest level, and etch his name in Knicks lore. The Eastern Conference is loaded with talent, but the Knicks are ready to make some noise. With Cat leading the charge, they have the firepower to compete with anyone. The future is now in New York, and it's looking bright orange and blue. Get ready for a wild ride, Knicks fans, because Cat is here to stay, and he's not leaving until he brings a championship back to the Garden.